Bim, 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 bam. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, hey! Shabbat shalom, hey! Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, hey! Shabbat shalom, hey! Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, hey, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam, bim, 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 bam. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. My name is Aaron Hill. I am not one of the rabbis Zober, but I found out very recently that there is a need to pinch hit tonight. I hope you're all well and you've had a good week and that you're glad to be here. I will admit, after the week I've had, I am as glad to be here for Shabbat as ever. Details on that later, and I'm looking forward to this entire night of singing together, to our time together at the Oneg. To get started, any of you who are new, welcome to Temple Sinai. I hope you have a chance to get to know us, meet some friendly faces. Any of our friends, our greeters who have name tags or members of our board, and we'd love to get to know you. If you know these prayers, sing along. We love co-participation. La 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 counts equally to fluent Hebrew and everything in between. Greetings to everyone on our live stream, with thanks to Michael Gordon for making it possible for people to be here from far and wide. On page 3 of Mishkan Tfilah, or in the virtual Siddur if you're online, we'll read the top reading together as these Shabbat candles. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who've kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. And now I welcome up Rosie Sage to light our candles for us. And along with Rosie, we will be on page 2 for the candle blessing. Yasher koach. Watch your fingers. Yeah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlikneh shel Shabbat. Amen.
Amen. Oh, we keep things exciting here with our solo candle. Thank you, Rosie. We also sometimes use lighters, very reformed. We'll continue together with singing on page 10. What a beautiful day. Ma yafeh hayom. Ma yafeh hayom. Shabbat shalom. Ma yafeh hayom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. And immediately on the next page, I should say, for those of you who don't see a Hebrew Siddur every day, we read from right to left. So the next page is the one on the left from page 10. Page 11, Ele Chamda Libi. Ele Chamda Libi. Husana ve'al natitale. Ele Chamda Libi. Husana ve'al natitale. Ele Chamda Libi, Husana ve'al natitalem. Faster. Ele Chamda Libi, Husana ve'al natitalem. Ele Chamda Libi, Husana ve'al natitalem. Ele Chamda Libi, Husana ve'al natitalem. And immediately on the next page, together, now that our energy is a little bit higher, Lechu neranena. Lechu neranena, Lechu neranena, Lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, Lechu neranena, Lechu neranena l'Adonai. Naria, Letsur Yishenu, Nekad Mafanav Toda. Naria, Letsur Yishenu, Bizmirot Naria lo. Lechu neranena, Lechu neranena, Lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, Lechu neranena, Lechu neranena l'Adonai. I was also just leading the Tat Shabbat service where we had a little chance to talk about Lecha Dodi, how we greet the Sabbath bride. Our tradition here is to, starting on page 20, of course, sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And when we get to verse 9, we rise together and face the entrance. For those of you on the live stream, you could face your entrance wherever it is, or east if you prefer. All things are good with your Jewish feng shui this Shabbat. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor bedibur echad, Hishmiyanu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem ultiferet le'litila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki hi mekor habracha, Merosh mikedem nesucha, Sof maaseh b'machshavat chila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, Kiva orech kumiori, Uri shir daberi, Kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ahateret ba'ala. Gam besimcha uvetzola. Toch emunei am segula. Boi chala. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabela. All right, you may all be seated. This is about as much singing participation as I've heard. I'm hearing full-throated ruach, spirit, from all of you. I couldn't be more thrilled. There's nothing like singing together. And we're going to keep doing that. On page 22, Tzadik Katamar in the middle of it. So not the Mizmor Shir, the Tzadik Katamar. Tzadik Katamar yifrach, Tzadik Katamar yifrach, Tzadik Katamar yifrach, Tzadik Katamar yifrach, Ke'erez balvanon yizge, Ke'erez balvanon yizge, Ke'erez balvanon yizge. Ke'erez balvanon yizge, Ke'erez balvanon yizge, Ke'erez balvanon yizge. Tzadik Katamar yifrach, Tzadik Katamar yifrach, Tzadik Katamar yifrach, Tzadik Katamar yifrach, Ke'erez balvanon yizge, Ke'erez balvanon yizge, Ke'erez balvanon yizge. Ke'erez balvanon yizge, Ke'erez balvanon yizge, Ke'erez balvanon yizge. So this has been fun. We're going to get a little serious. On page 26, bridging to the next part of the service, together with the Chatzi Kaddish. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabba, be'alma divrach yirutei ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, bagala, uvizman kariv, Veimeru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevarach, Le'ala Mulal Me'al Maya, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitroman, V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, V'yithale, V'yithalal, Shemei Dekudasha Brichu, Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'mihiran be'alma, v'emeru, Amen. Now the service actually officially begins. The rest of this was just warm-up. On page 28, we rise together and face the ark for the Baruch Hu. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch mevorach le'olam va'ed. Ha-mevorach, ha-mevorach le'olam va'ed. We may all be seated. If y'all wondering why I'm punchy, I was in an 11-hour meeting today. So the idea of standing up and sitting down is a humongous relief. On page 30, we'll read together in the Hebrew, the Ma'ariv Aravim. I always quote our kid, Ronan, very early on. One of his first sentences was, "As afternoon fades into evening." It was, I know, right? It's very cute. We still try to say it. He doesn't say it anymore. So together in the Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim b'chochma poteach she'arim uvetvuna meshanei itim umachalif et hazmanim umsader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem b'hakia kirtzono bore yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or uma'avir yom umevi laila uma'avdir ben yom uvein laila Adonai tzvaot shemo el chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. And because I love this one so much in the English as well. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. And then another very pretty tune, Debbie Friedman's Ahavat Olam on page 32. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha havta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu uvkumenu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'mitzvotecha leholam va'ed ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negeyomam v'layla negeyomam v'layla ve'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael, Ohev amo Yisrael. On page 34, the Shema. Hands over your eyes if you wish. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Leolam Vaed.
All right, please be seated. On page 36, the Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantaham levanecha, vedibartaham, beshiftecha bevetecha, uvlechtecha vaderech, uvshochbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam meot hayadecha, vehayuletotafot beinenecha, uchtavtam, al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tiskeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai vihitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim V'hiot lachem Elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet. Back to a little bit of English on page 39. The reading at the top together, standing on the parted shores. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. And we do so, crossing the sea, next page 40, with the Micha Mocha, with the claps. Yai dai dai da dai da 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 dai. Yai dai dai da dai da 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 dai. Ya dai da dai da yai da 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 dai da dai. Yai da dai dai ya da 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 dai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nehedar ba'kodesh. Nora tehilot osefele. Nora tehilot osefele. Malchutecha ra'uvanecha bokei ayam mifnei Moshe. Zelianu ve'amru, Zelianu ve'ameru. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar kifad Adonai et Yaakov, ugalo mi'at chazak mimenu, baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. And continuing on page 43, together in the lower reading, give us a place. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. And the next page on page 44, Yismechu, the bottom half. Yismechu v'malechutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Mekadeshe, Mekadeshe Shavi Shabbat, Kulam Yisbeu, V'yitangu mitu V'cha Shabbat, Yismechu, V'malechutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat V'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat V'korei oneg Shabbat. V'hashvi'i Ratzita bo v'kidashto Shabbat Chemdat Yamim Otokarata Shabbat Yismechu v'malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat V'korei oneg Shabbat Yismechu v'malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat V'korei oneg Shabbat. Zecher Lema'aseh Vereshit Shabbat. Zecher Lema'aseh Vereshit Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat V'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat V'korei oneg Shabbat. And even though the academic year's over, the music professor never takes a break from appreciating how antiphonal that was with our echoes across the room. We can pull this off even in a pretty small room. Next, we have the central prayer of our service, the Amidah, which means standing. So those who are able may rise, and at home, we aren't checking, but you may as well. And facing the ark or east if you can. When we get to the end of the Kedusha, we'll continue silently until page 62. But I need to know where we're starting. Page 46. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi agitehi matecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Velohei Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Velohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, El Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'imahot, Umevi Geula livnei v'neihem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atara ve'Hoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim. Sumech noflim verofech olim. Umatir asurim. Umekayem emunato. Vishenei afan. Michamocha bagevurot. Umido melech. Melech beini umechayeh. Umatzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'emanata lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai. Mechayeh hakol. Kadosh, v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Now we continue silently till page 62. Page 62 together, the Oseh Shalom at the bottom. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, himru amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. grant us peace. Howdy. Absent a Torah service on short notice, though now I have on offer that Rabbi Myra could contribute Torah chanting on even shorter notice than what I had, and I will remember that next time. And I'm incredibly impressed before it's even happened. We'll be turning our thoughts to those in our community who are in need of healing. I invite anyone online to type names into the live stream, and I'll be reading some names, and when I'm finished reading names, I'll invite people in the room to add more names of anybody who could use a boost right now. We're thinking right now of Kevin Ashton, Aviva Bat Yosefa V'Michael, Cassidy Hinsberg, Kathy Bartlett, Tracy Bartlett, Batya Tali, Danny Berger, Laura Cohen, Rabbi Matt Cohen, Uritsur Cohen, Megan Carney Cranmer, Nancy Dowse, Ted Dowse, Dan Graffam, Stephen Gould, Marlene Harris, Pam Hendricks, Daniel Jacobson, Joe Kamen, Ron Kamen, Ellis Kruger, Letitia Kruger, John Lutzker, Jason Matthews, Lexi Miller, Harav Miriam Yael Chaya Batsara, Vivian Morgan, Tim Ober, Clara Petersky, Carol Pevney, Judy Ramos, Sarah Bat Chava, Harav Sarah Bat Yisrael V'Shoshana, Shana Bracha Bat Esther Malka, Shana Molina, Phil Shallett, Chris Stanton, Ken Wasser, Bobby Wells, Usher Zalik, Bobby Vidal, Israel for peace, healing, and remembrance for all the innocent lives affected in this war, all the military and aid personnel assisting in the war in Gaza, everyone affected by the coronavirus and long COVID, and the Jewish and other communities of Ukraine. And if you have more names to share as my hand meets your eyes, please do so.
Nikki Vasquez and all my friends who are still in their therapy journeys.
And for them on page 253, we'll sing together the Misha Berach with a couple extra seconds to find it. In the middle. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe Beirach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. So, as you might be able to tell, I'm delighted to be leading this service tonight. And anytime I evaluate whether to accept or reject a service leading opportunity, I try to ask myself, would I enjoy the preparation process, the during, and the after. Now, the during is a joy every time because I get to see all your lovely faces and sing together. The after, given that it's an oneg with yummy snacks, is always a slam dunk. The only question I ever have is what the before process will look like. I learned of the need for a service leader with 3 days notice, which is much less time than one would normally have to prepare a thoughtful, meaningful service worthy of your attendance, and not just a minimal upholding of ritual obligation. While it wasn't enough time to be able to offer a full Torah service, my activities in the last couple days were perfect for writing some thoughts on Parshat Bamidbar and the how and why of taking a census. Riveting. I spent yesterday and today in 21 hours of Board of Regents meetings. Not an exaggeration. Allowing me lots of time to read from the Torah portion and write a drash on my iPad anytime our esteemed regents were discussing topics irrelevant to me, especially any agenda items having to do with UNLV. Snap. I also had 3.5 hours of public comment this morning of people telling me what I should think about the Jewish people. It was a doozy. So I got some reading done and I got some writing done. In the desert wilderness, Bamidbar, literally for those of you following along in the original Hebrew, we created the census process of counting and recording numbers of people tribe by tribe, or really men of working age, but that's a problematic issue for a different sermon, not today. So why do we count people? Taxes, military service, and religious service obligations mostly. And I wrote these words as I listened to endless statistics about numbers of students who graduated from each NSHE campus, how many people each university and college employs, and who the new faculty, staff, and student leaders are from all around the state. Not so different. The meeting felt a lot like the listing of tribes of Israel, the numbers of soldiers that each one had to offer, and was in many ways, makes Parshat Bamidbar and the meetings I just attended, but Parshat Bamidbar especially, the Torah portion that definitely could have been an email. Thank you, delayed reaction. I also remember the similar but much more humanly relatable and expertly delivered reports at our congregational meeting, where we chose our congregation's new and continuing leaders, all of whom are wonderful, enumerating all the ways our temple members contribute, both financially and through acts of leadership and service. Of course, budget numbers also figured prominently at both kinds of meetings and in Parshat Bamidbar. So the Parsha, the congregation's annual meeting, and this week's quarterly Board of Regents meetings all present sort of an overwhelming message that our personal identity can easily be wrapped up in what we have to offer and contribute to those around us. And a group's accomplishments and collective strength become the combination of those individual contributions. But can what I have to offer my community be simply boiled down to what I contribute in taxes or dues, in service, and in helping fulfill ritual obligations like what I'm doing right now? I certainly don't see others in those terms, nor should I about myself. There's much more there. And those of you who I don't know yet, I want to get to know you tonight at the Oneg. Those of you who do, you'll know this is true. I love meeting new people very often. Love it. And Laura often jokes, asking me if I made another new best friend today. When I meet someone new, I try to challenge myself and notice how many questions and stories I can exchange with them before asking them what they do for their career. Job titles can be so loaded with value judgments about wealth and competitive achievement. And it's challenging not to have that one in our top 3 questions we ask a new person. I have to confess, though, I'm guilty of some hypocrisy on this. Since the last time I was up here giving a drash was when I was bragging about my recent promotion, And when I started this drosh, I was talking about spending lots of time in a room full of muckety mucks. But I'll never forget how it felt to freeze in one of my earliest job interviews when the committee asked me who I am beyond my professional ambitions. And I had no idea how to answer the question, both because people hardly ever asked me that, and because my work-life balance was abysmal at the time. I was 27. And I wonder how, if I could have made earlier progress on leading a more meaningful life at that point, if more people had asked me more meaningful questions in my 20s, or if that's just inherent to being in one's 20s. So how does any of us describe who we are without describing what we do for a living and what those basic offerings are? What gets you out of bed in the morning and when you go to sleep at night? Or to phrase the same thought backwards like we do when we read Hebrew, when we lie down and when we rise up. Thank you. How do you measure whether or not you made today a masterpiece? Thinking just of today, or since it's Shabbat, this entire week, did you do something helpful? Did you make someone laugh or provide a safe shoulder to cry on? Did you learn something new, teach someone something, or develop a skill? Did you solve a problem? Did you feed people, literally or figuratively? Did you provide maintenance and repair to a physical space, or add creative beauty to your surroundings? Did you make impactful plans for the future? Did you manage resources intelligently, like solving money puzzles now so that there won't be money problems later? Did you repair a wounded relationship and engage in tshuva and forgiveness? Any of those and many other meaningful questions can be answered regardless of perceived competitive and hierarchical status. Nobody accomplishes all of those things in a normal day, but we're all capable of offering many of those interpersonal gifts over the course of a week. So our census numbering tells us who can fight for our army, fund our society's operational costs, and meet our ritual obligations. It has essential value. Without it, we don't exist. But as I described at first, I'm ultimately always in it for the oneg. Leading services is a joyful way for me to contribute what I can so that we can exchange hugs and jokes together afterward. You wouldn't want me preparing the food. So thank goodness Crystal and Tracy are doing that tonight with Tova's sponsorship support. Those of you on the live stream are benefiting from the technical contributions of my friend Michael Gordon, and I'd be much more nervous to run the live stream than I am to sing in mostly Hebrew for an hour. And our small community, it's a gorgeous microcosm of the world we aspire to create beyond these walls. Finding a way to make our time and relationships here a masterpiece can reverberate in all of our other spheres the rest of the week outside this place. Connection, meaning, and generosity can and certainly should also be in the forms of money and acts of service whenever possible. But those aspects are important only because of how they bring us together as a local Jewish tribe, wandering in the northern Nevada desert, trying desperately to figure out the meaning of life together. As a gentle nod to Rabbi Akiva's quote that study is important only if it leads to action, I read the ho-hum accounting of Parshat Bamidbar as an illustration that the foundational contributions we make to the society around us are essential for continued existence, and that they answer the how of forming a society that can live for thousands of years, like we have and shall continue to. Thank you very much. But the why question is up to us to figure out together locally and individually. It's much more complicated, and it's entirely worth it. For all the ways you have yes answers to any of the above questions that I asked, whether you do so publicly or you're more of a behind-the-scenes contributor, thank you for all the ways that you add to our lives and all the ways that we'll do so together in the future. I look forward to continuing this at the oneg. Shabbat Shalom. Those of us who are able, rise together on page 282 for the Aleinu. Oh, and we have, if the kids, if you could open our doors for us, if you'd like. Come on up. We need you. Now's when we get to see the Torahs. Thank you, Alina. All right, ready to open? 1, 2, 3, go. Thank you. Page 282 at the bottom. Aleinu leshabeach la'adon hakol, la'tein gidula leotzer reshit, shelo asanu kigoye haratzot, velo samanu kimishbechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol ramonam, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. 284. שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ ומושד יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. Just keep it up here. מלכנו אפס ולטו ככתוב בתורתו. Please stay up here. ודעת היום והשבותה אל לבבך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ Ronan, please. תחת עינות. Together in the English at the top of page 285. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall return to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all, created in your image, become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. On page 287 together. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad ushemo echad. Thank you both for being up here. Is my son hurting anybody? We may all be seated. He's fine. Oh, good. Michael has the Torah.
There's two of them on Torah.
There's two. Our sons are both equally to blame. Partners in crime they are. So looking next, we move to page 292 at the top. When cherished ties are broken and the chain of love is shattered, only trust and the strength of faith can lighten the heaviness of the heart. At times, the pain of separation seems more than we can bear. But if we dwell too long on our loss, we embitter our hearts and harm ourselves and those about us. The psalmist said that in his affliction, he learned the law of God. And in truth, grief is a great teacher when it sends us back to serve and bless the living. We learn how to counsel and comfort those who, like ourselves, are bowed with sorrow. We learn when to keep silent in their presence and when a word will assure them of our love and concern. Thus, even when they're gone, the departed are with us, moving us to live as, in their higher moments, they themselves wish to live. We remember them now. They live in our hearts. They are an abiding blessing. So we think of those who we remember who we've lost recently in the last 30 days in the first year of mourning, and whose yard sites we remember today. Those of you who are on the live stream, you can contribute names of loved ones you're remembering by typing them in. I will name some here, and then I will once again go around the room. Tonight we're remembering Bill Walton, Jerry Zober, Dave Levine, Tatiana Marie Granoff, Millie Rolston, Carol Ann Garris, Esther Badavron, Scott Johnson, Eric Hobson, Daniel B. Stage, Sue Burkhammer, Eric Rosenberg, Jeffrey Four, Kevin Knox, Joanne Reimer, Jim Alexander, Rivka Bat Avraham, Kurt Engelhart, Debbie Herman, Annie Rubin, Julius Ashkin, Dave Levine, Aaron Novick, Rabbi Chaim Assa, Rebecca Eliasberg, Morris Minkoff, Ronald Small, Leslie B. Aaron, Peppy Getz, Lily Lubowski, Tina Rubin, Ethel Chet, Ida Friedlander, Rebecca D. Gumbert, Francis Brislowski, Judith Ann Morhar, and as my hand meets your eyes around the room, you can add more names.
David Jones and Phil Eby.
All the innocent people who died in the war.
Diane.
Bradley Hunter.
If it's your custom, now is the time to rise for the Mourner's Kaddish together on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah be'alma divrach hirutei ve'amlich malchutei b'chaye chon uvyome chon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kari ve'imru amen. Yehe shmei rabba mevarach le'alam ulalmei almaya yitbarach v'ishtabach v'itpa'ar v'itromam v'itnaseh v'itadar v'itale v'talal shmei dekudasha brichu le'ela min kol birchata b'shirata tush bechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru almen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam levracha, may their memories be for blessing. We may be seated. We have some announcements, and they're multifaceted tonight. I'm on assignment from Laura to thank everybody who contributed and participated in the Judaica swap. It turns out it was a lovely event. Those of you who went know there were so many beautiful items, and we were able to raise over $500 with it. And we'll have for our announcements tonight both Michael Cohen from the board and Jeff Gingold with an additional announcement once Michael's finished.
Special delivery.
Special delivery. Go team. There you go. We open it one more time. Ritual exceptions for our wild boys.
Yep. That's how it always goes. All right, where are the announcements? Here we go.
Yes.
All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you in particular to Aaron, who stepped up incredibly on only 3 days' notice and did a fantastic job. To Tova for doing some of the greetings, to Mike Gordon for the live stream, and to Tova again for sponsoring the delicious noms that await us in the social hall. As usual, we always need Torah chanters, we always need live stream techs, and if you are interested, we would also love to have you sponsor an oneg. This oneg is being sponsored by Tova in appreciation of our outgoing and incoming board of directors. And I know that all those folks have put in a fantastic job this last year and will do so again this year. I also want to call out that we had our annual congregational meeting on Sunday. For those of you who attended live or virtually, thank you. Making quorum was a big deal for us. We had a lot of important stuff to get business to get through, and we got through it all. If you don't know what that's about and you're interested, please hit me up at the oneg, and I'll be very happy to tell you all about it. More than you wish to know, I'm sure. Tomorrow morning, we have Torah study via Zoom. I think the rabbis are still leading it despite being out of town, but I don't know. Deborah Achtenberg is leading the Torah study. And then on Sunday morning, we have our Reno Community Mitzvah Day, which is happening this time at Temple Emmanuel. We'd love to see a great Temple Sinai contingent rocking up Temple Emmanuel. We've got a lot of important things to do. Jeff, is that what you're going to be speaking about in a minute? Great. I won't spoil it. This week is Shavuot. Everybody remembers Pesach and everybody remembers Sukkot, but people tend to forget Shavuot is the third great pilgrim festival. It's June 11th through 12th, and one of the traditions on Shavuot, if you're keen, is there is an all-night study / community session that this year is being run online under the auspices of the Union for Reform Judaism. It is called the Small Congregations Tikkun Leil Shavuot event. It runs from 5 p.m. on Tuesday through 6 a.m. on Wednesday, but you don't have to stay for the whole time. If you're interested, we have the flyers out there. And then Wednesday evening for Shavuot, we have at 7 p.m. a Shavuot class and an ice cream social sponsored by the JPC. Shavuot, in case you don't know, is the festival of dairy food. So cheesecakes, ice creams, all those wonderful treats. And then on Thursday, we have a Torah for Tots session for Shavuot at 4:15 p.m. It's the last session of the year, the season, I guess. And then we get around to the next week, and it's the usual, but I'll also add that Sunday mornings we're starting up our Sprucing Up Sinai program at 9 a.m., where come and hang out with us and talk, and also help us get this place a bit more shipshape during the summer. And I'll leave it there. More announcements about the following weeks are available. But here's Jeff with some Mitzvah Day stuff.
Hi there. Jewish community will get together starting at 9 o'clock on Sunday at Temple Emmanuel, but then we spread out and do mitzvahs throughout the community. There'll be blood donations and others. About 9 years ago, Temple Sinai adopted the Northwest Park, which is 3 blocks from here, and twice a year or more, we clean up the park. It's between 2 schools. It's between the Clayton Middle School and the Mamie Tolles Elementary School. If you go out of our door and you go straight on that street bridge, the Bridgewood Street, and you go straight, you come into the park, you'll see the park. If you go around off Kings Row on Apollo Way in the back, where the entrance to the Northwest Pool is, we'll be meeting at 10 o'clock. And I have grabbers from Keep Truckee Meadow Beautiful, and we have trash bags, and we have gloves for people, and I will bring some snacks, and we'll have some water. We've had this for many years, and kids coming with parents and grandparents, like my granddaughter and I will be coming. Please join us if you can. It's kind of a fun, glorious way to be part of this community, and they're our neighbors, and we're part of the community, so I hope to see some or many of you 10 o'clock at Northwest Park, and just right where the entrance to the Northwest Pool is, we'll be waiting. Thanks.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Michael. And before we head over for my favorite part, we're going to turn together to page 321 for Joyful Classic, Adon Olam. Why not the usual? Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Le'et Nasa, B'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Ve'achare Kichlot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nora Adon Olam, Vehu Haya, Vehu Hoveh, Vehu Yeh B'tifara Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem kol Yetzir nivra Ve'et nasa Behefzo kol Hazai melech shemo nikra Adon olam Vehu echad vein sheni Leham shilo lehachbira Adon olam Beli reshit Beli tachlit Velo haoz v'hamisra Adon olam Asher malach B'terem kol Yetzir nivra Le'et nasa V'chefso kol Azai melech shemo nikra Adon olam Vehu eli V'chai goali V'tzur chevli be'et tzara Adon olam Vehu nisi humanos li Menat kosi be'om ekra Adon olam Asher malach B'terem kol Yetzir nivra Le'et nasa V'chefso kol Azai melech shemo nikra Adon olam Beyado havkidruchi Be'et ishan ve'ayira Adon olam Ve'imruchi geviati Adonai li velo ira Adon olam. Shabbat shalom, everybody. See you over there in the social hall. For those of you on the Zoom, is there a Yisma Zoom? There's a Yisma Zoom.